Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today. I'm going to be going over all the over-under win totals for both college football and the NFL. Today is the NFL. So the way this is going to be done is, for example, let's say the Baltimore Ravens line is 8.5, because that's the first team I'm going to be talking about. So let's say the Ravens line is 8.5. If I think they're going to win more games than eight, like if I think they're going to win 10 games, I'm going to say over. If I think they're going to win, let's say 6 games, I'm going to say under. If I think it's like a really good number, if I can't make my mind, I'm just going to say push. I'm just going to give a little explanation on why I'm going with each way that I am going. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, 11.5. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to take the over. I think they get to probably at least 12 wins, possibly 13. They don't go on the West Coast once this year, unlike last season. I know they went to Seattle, I think to the Rams. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over at 11.5 wins. The Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs, 11.5. I'm going to take the under with the Chiefs. I think they still probably win that division, but I think they're not going to be any better than 11.5. Denver. I think LA is going to be better this year. The Chargers and even the Raiders. I'm not high on the Raiders, but don't count them out. They're playing a first place schedule. They play the NFC South as well. I'm going to take the under with the Chiefs, but not by much. New Orleans Saints, 10.5. That's going to be a push for me. That division, I think, is a lot tougher than what people are thinking. I think Atlanta's probably around a 500 team. I think Carolina could be around a 500 team. They face the AFC West. I think that, as I said, I think the AFC West and NFC South probably the two toughest divisions going into this season. And I just overall think that the Saints, they're a great regular season team, but I think 10.5, that's just too given up for me to bet on. So that's a push. San Francisco 49ers, 10.5. That's going to be an over for me. I think they probably win 12, 13 games, honestly. I think they are the team to beat in the NFC. 10.5, I'm taking the over on that. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 10. That's gonna be a push for me. Some people think that they're gonna struggle at the beginning of the season. I could see that. The more I look at everything, I could see that. Um, I personally think that the Bucks are still gonna probably be in the postseason, but overall, I do think that 10 is a perfect number. I think they probably go 10-6 at the end of the season. Let's see. Dallas Cowboys 9.5. This is easy under. I don't think the Cowboys win more than 9 games. As of right now, I am under the assumption that Andy Dalton will be starting Week 1. I don't know what's going on with that whole Dak Prescott negotiation thing or whatever. Negotiating the contract, he wants a long-term deal, but I think the money he's asking for is ridiculous at this point. I'm going to take the under with the Cowboys at 9.5. It's the Cowboys. They always seem to lose to people they're not supposed to lose to. Give me the under. Philadelphia Eagles 9.5. That's a push for me. I think that's a perfect number for them. I can see them going 10-6. I could also see them going 9-7. That's going to be a push. It always seems to be around there. So I'm going to go ahead and say push for the Philadelphia Eagles. Pittsburgh Steelers 9.5. I'm gonna say under. I know some people are pretty high on them, thinking that they could get to 10 wins. I think they're 8-8. Honestly, I really do. I'm not that high on them. I'm not high on really any team in the AFC North except the Ravens, honestly. Um, so overall, I'm gonna go ahead and say the under at 9.5 for Pittsburgh. I think they're more 8-8. Seattle Seahawks 9.5. That's going to be the over. They're going to find a way to at least get to 10 wins, probably 11 wins. I think that's an easy over. Seattle Seahawks at 9.5. Buffalo Bills at 9. This is a tough one. I want to say over, but I think it's more of a push in the over. Even though it's right at 9, I'm not sold that a team in the AFC East is going to get to 10 wins this year. I'm going to have to go with push on this one. I just don't know if the Bills. I can't trust the Bills to get to 10 wins yet. I know they're a young team. They have a very good culture and everything. Sean McDermott is a very good head coach, but I don't know if I could trust them to get to 10 yet. Green Bay Packers at 9. That's gonna be a push as well. The team to me, the whole AFC North, that's already your third toughest division. Um, I do think that the Vikings should be favored going into this year in that division. Because I just think the Vikings are better than the Packers. I If you had made me choose, I'll probably go over the Packers, but I'm going to say push and be a bit conservative on that. Indianapolis Colts at 9 wins over under. I'm going to take the under. The Colts. Listen, Philip Rivers is your quarterback. He's going to choke away some games. I know people are high on the Colts. Some people actually think that the Colts could win the AFC South. See this hat right here. As a Titans fan, I disagree with that, but in reality, I don't agree with that. Even if I wasn't a Titans fan, um, Colts just feel like 8-8. I know they had a really good selections with Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., but I mean, I gotta go under there with the Colts at 9 over under. Minnesota Vikings, they're at 9 wins as well. I do think that I'm going to take the over here. I do think Minnesota at least gets to 10 wins. They are a pretty good team. They're going to be playing a second place schedule, unlike the Packers. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings at 9 wins. I'm going to take the over on that. And then New England Patriots here at 9 wins. I'm going to take the under. They feel like a 7-9, 8-8 team to me. I mean, I don't know if they could get to 9 wins. I actually kind of doubt that they will, honestly. I still think they'll be an okay team, but with Tom Brady not there, I don't know who they're going to start quarterback. It's probably going to be between Jarrett Stidham and uh, Brian Hoyer, even though I still think they're going to go for Cam Newton. I think they should go for Cam Newton, as a matter of fact. But at 9 wins, I got to take the under on that. Cleveland Browns at 8.5. I'm going to take the under on that. Listen, the Browns, whatever can go wrong, will go wrong with the Cleveland Browns. I am not picking the Cleveland Browns to make the postseason, or less until I see them make the postseason. Then we can start talking about them making the postseason. So I'm going to take the under at 8.5. LA Rams at 8.5. Very tough division. I'm going to take the under. I think they're 8-8. I'm pretty sold that they're 8-8 as well, and they could be 7-9. I'm very concerned about the whole running back situation. Uh, I know that Sean McVay, he came out and said he feels confident about the running backs. I don't. I think Jared Goff is just he's just a system quarterback. And I'm going to go ahead and take the under 8.5 with the LA Rams. My Tennessee Titans, 8.5 over under. I'm taking the over. I think Tennessee Titans get to at least 10 wins. We have the easiest schedule in the NFL, us and the Colts. But I'm going to go ahead and take Tennessee Titans with over. We have a really easy schedule. Now, Grant, I do think we start the season 1-2. But after that, I think we win a bunch of games. I'll take the over. And by the way, past 4 years, Tennessee Titans have won over 8.5 games, going 9-7. Chicago Bears at 8. I'm going to take the push there. I mean, granted, the Bears I think can go 10-6, but they can also go 6-10. 8 wins over under seems right to me. So I'm going to go ahead and take the push with the Chicago Bears. Houston Texans at 8. I'm taking the under. I think things could go really bad in Houston. I see the Houston Texans probably as a 6-7 win team at best, honestly. Maybe they could get to 8 wins. So I'm going to go ahead and take the under of the Texans at 8. LA Chargers at 8 wins as well for their over-under. That's a tough number. I'm going to take the push. I do think the LA Chargers are getting a bit underrated. They're getting a bit underrated this year. So I'm going to just take the push. They could maybe will be 6-10, but I also think this team could go 10-6. Like I think they could get in the postseason in the LA Chargers. So I'll take the push at 8. Atlanta Falcons 7.5. That's going to be a push for me. I think that's a perfect number for them. I think they're right around that 7, 9, 8, and 8 mark this year. They have Tampa and New Orleans ahead of them in that division at least. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 7.5 right there and take the push. Denver Broncos 7.5. Give me the over all day long on the Denver Broncos. I am very high on this team. I think this team is going to be really damn good this year. I don't think they beat the Chiefs at the end in the AFC West, but I think they come pretty damn close. I'll come out and say right now, I think this team is at least going 9-7. Denver Broncos 7.5. Give me the over all day long. And then the other team in that division, LA Raiders at 7.5. I'm going to take the under. The schedule is actually kind of tough for the LA Raiders. Not the LA Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to take the under. I think they're probably like a 6-10 team. So at 7.5, I'm going to take the under on that. Arizona Cardinals at 7. I'm going to take the push on that. I think that's a perfect number for them. They bring in DeAndre Hopkins, to me, the best wide receiver in the league. So I think that's huge for Kyler Murray. Larry Fitzgerald, probably one of the most consistent wide receivers in the league history right there. I am concerned about the defense for the Arizona Cardinals, but I think 7 is a good number. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. So give me a push there at 7. New York Jets at 7 as well. I'm going to take the push on that. I don't know what to think of the Jets exactly. I don't think they're a terrible team, but I don't think they're really that good. I know people are really sold on Sam Darnold. I still need to see a bit more, honestly. But I'm going to go ahead and just take the push there at 7. I think that will be the right move right there. Detroit Lions, 6.5. I'm gonna take. Man, that's a tough one. I'm definitely not taking the over. I am definitely not taking the over. Man, I do think they're gonna be better this year. I do think they're gonna be better this year, but I don't know if they can even in that division with the Packers and Vikings. They're probably going to be getting at least to 9-10 wins, most likely. The Bears, I think, are going to be around 500. I'm going to take the under. I think they're probably 6-10, 5-11. I'm going to take the under. That's a tough one, but I'm going to take the under on that. 6.5 for the Detroit Lions. I'm going to take the under. Miami Dolphins at 6.5. I'm going to take the over on this. Miami Dolphins, I think, at least get to 500 this year. I'm going to take the over. I'm really sold on everything that's happening down there in Miami with the Dolphins. So give me the over at 6.5. New York Giants at 6.5. I'm taking the under. I am not sold on the New York Giants one bit. I know some people think that their offense is better than the Redskins. I get that. Joe Judge is probably the most unproven head coach going into this season, and I personally just feel like the Giants. I think they might fall in their face and go 4-12. Honestly, give me the under for the New York Giants. Carolina Panthers 5.5. I'm going to take the over. I'm actually pretty high on the Panthers. I don't think they make the playoffs, but I think this team can easily go 7, 9, 8, and 8 very easily. 5.5. I'll take the over on that for the Carolina Panthers and wins. 3 more teams here. Cincinnati Bengals 5.5 wins. I'm going to take the push on that. I don't think Cincinnati is going to be winning the AFC North. As a matter of fact, I think they probably come in last place most likely. But 5.5, I could see them going maybe 6-10. 5-11, I think, is probably where I would have them, honestly. I do think they'll be better than last season. But I'm going to take the push right now for the Cincinnati Bengals at 5.5. Washington Redskins 5.5. I'm taking the over. I am sold on the Washington Redskins to at least be competitive, and I think they probably go at least 6-10, probably 7-9. I really like the direction this Redskins team is heading, so I'm going to take the over at 5.5. And then the last place, not the last place team, but they're going to be last place in their division, but the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the London Jaguars, as they should be called, even though they took away the stadium in London. So I don't know where they're going to play because the NFL canceled all games across the pond. But their over unders at 5. Under. Absolutely under. I think this team's lucky if they go 4-12. Honestly, they won a tank for Trevor Lawrence. It looks like. So I'm going to take the under for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But that's all. That's all the teams. That's all the over unders. Just two quick things. One, do not take my betting advice. Please do not take my betting advice. Just don't. It's not a good idea or anything. I don't recommend taking anybody's betting advice. And also, the college video will be out on Saturday for this. That's gonna be a longer video. This one's gonna be about 16-minute video. That one's gonna probably be like a 35-minute video. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to your channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. College football predictions start Monday, so stay tuned for that. Big D the Beast signing off.